So there's a film out called By the Time It Gets Dark by Anocha Suichkornpong, which is a Thailand film, which is very, very hard to describe. I really, really liked it, but let me do my very best. So it begins by talking about the attack on students in 1976 in Bangkok. We see we see a scene from this that is then revealed to be a dramatization. A director is directing it. We then becomes the story of a director who is interviewing a woman who was a student protester and has now grown up, and the director wants to make a film about her life and about the events of 76. And she starts having a conversation with her about how they're going, how the project's going to go on. And then a waitress says, well, are you the director or the writer? And she says, well, I'm the director, but I'm also helping write the script. And the waitress says, well, why doesn't she write her own story? That waitress will then reoccur throughout the drama in a number of different guises, will keep recurring in a number of different roles. Meanwhile, the film itself starts to fragment. There is a sequence in which one character does a long-to-camera monologue about having telekinetic powers as a child that were then lost when the story of the telekinetic powers were told. There is a hallucinogenic mushroom sequence that takes us off on a voyage to the moon, and it references to Méliès. There is a wonderful sequence which starts in a tobacco plant in which we see a man driving a truck who then turns out to be a star, a pop star and a film star, who is then been offered a script, which may be the script for the film that is being talked about. Meanwhile, the sequence that we saw the first time round is revisited in sort of soap opera fashion. And what the film becomes, therefore, is a number of things. On the one hand, it's a meditation on the... Stop yawning.
I'm still here.
On the one hand, it's a meditation
Be more energetic.
Okay, on the one hand, it's a meditation on the way in which it is impossible for cinema to capture exactly life, on documentary and drama being two parts of the same thing. On the other hand, it is about memory and the way in which memory and cinema are intertwined but also separated. It's about the past and the importance of remembering the past, but also what happens in an area in which the past has been deliberately forgotten. Plus, it then becomes a meditation on the nature of cinema, on what the moving image can and can't show, on the history of the moving image. And it manages to do all these things in a way which is quite magical, quite spellbinding, quite... I cannot say for one, when I was watching the film, and I saw it very first thing in the morning, and the English translation, the title it has in English, By the Time It Gets Dark, and I spent the whole of the rest of the day thinking about it, being haunted by it. There were large sections on it that I didn't understand when I saw them first time round, and I suspect that I still don't understand them now, but I was never bored. I was always fascinated. The film has a kind of hypnotic... I mean, it is a film about film. It's also about the rise of digital imagery and what digital imagery means to memory and what it means to live in a world in which it's possible to take a digital image really easily and store it in a way that may then itself become corrupted. It's a film that, as you can see from what I'm saying, is completely unable to be represented by a plot synopsis, but it is also a really, I thought, exciting, invigorating, challenging, confounding, dazzling, dizzying piece of work by a filmmaker who is spent years organizing this kind of kaleidoscopic structure. And I really liked it. I was really, really impressed by it. And even though, as I said, it may well be, it seems to me that the film has enough open-ended possibilities for people to pour their own meanings into it. And maybe part of it is just to watch and let the film work. Because I've said this before, there are films that really work, which when you see them, you're not quite sure what it is. And then over the next 24, 48 hours, the film keeps... This is the best way of saying it. I've been dreaming about this film. How often since
does that happen?
Rarely. And so it's called By the Time It Gets Dark. You'll have to seek it out. It's a fairly limited release, but if you get a chance, it is a really fascinating. What was delightful, I came into work and Simon, who works on the show, I said, what else have you seen this week? And he said, I've seen, not you, Simon, other Simon. I said, he said, I've seen By the Time It Gets Dark. I went, isn't it great? And he went, yeah. And I went, isn't it indescribable? He went, yeah. And
he's full of phrases.
He's full of phrases.
He can really
He's just
help you
agreeing with
reviews
me because he understands that I have the power to fire him like that.
Exactly, that's just the way it
Okay,
goes.
so it's called By the Time It Gets Dark.